Here we go then, scheduled for 4 this one. The super welterweight division, though Irving coming in a few pounds heavier than middleweight on late notice. I'm looking forward to seeing what Dylan Adebisi can do. He carries a bit of swagger, he talks well. Decent amateur pedigree to bring to the table as well. But it's a new game now, and it's a new boxing year for him as well. Fresh start in every way.
I mentioned his debut. He was in with a fighter called Luke Denyer, who was also making his debut, which is kind of unusual, but I knew that he'd had lots of fights in unlicensed, so he came with a bit of ambition himself, but it just didn't go his way at all. He was outgunned by Adebisi, who was just too good for him and got the early stoppage. And you look at him here, there's just that kind of fast twitch element to him. You feel like he's about to explode at any second.
A lot of feints, changing the body angles, so he's just posing a few questions. He's certainly making Irving think. We know that Irving knows his way around the boxing ring, rarely troubled, rarely put in difficulty. I think the odds makers would have this down as a 4-round distance win for Adebisi before a ball's been kicked, but it's been a nice start this from Adebisi.
As you said, he has only been stopped the once in 25 defeats, so you're right, you would think this had the 40-36 written all over it, but Adebisi sets a high bar for himself, so I'm sure he will be looking to just work as effectively as he can and see if he can force something towards the end. When you look at Irving's record, it's kind of interesting actually. He won his first 4, then after 18 months out, came back in the away corner, and that happens sometimes, doesn't it? Because the home corner is difficult. You have to sell tickets, and if you struggle to do that, but you've got some ability and you know you can make some money, then you have to pick up that stall, move across or into the away corner, and it just requires a refocusing. A lot of the time, it's a question of whether your pride can take it, I think.
Well, it could be a regular, steady income. You know, have some guys who are fighting every couple of weeks.
Exactly that, and you don't have to sell a single ticket, but you know what you're there for. You know that the odds will always be stacked against you, and some fighters just struggle with that.
Really sharp start this from Adebisi, and because of the feints and the change in the body angle, not only is he giving himself an opportunity maybe to get into an attacking position, but he's just drawing the odd lead from Irving as well, and that in itself has created opportunities for really razor-sharp first opening round from him.
And he was nice and accurate. He was quite measured with what he did throw, but when he did let go, more often than not, he landed on something.
Full of focus, full of the business, and a few moments you saw rare discomfort there from Irving. It might be in the second round. Irving's a little reluctant to lead off, maybe not bite on those feints, keep himself safe.
Corners, 10 seconds.
What you'd like to see here is Adebisi just
seconds out.
Build through the gears, skip through the gears as we go through this 4 rounds. Doesn't mean you have to go crazy, but just try and raise the temperature bit by bit.
He really is changing the angles, isn't he? He's really squatting down on those knees. Oh, that's a lovely right hand. Lovely right hand. He just squatted down, then came over the top, and Irving almost suggesting that he was off balance. He may have been, but that was a landing shot.
And again, just a skip to the right there to change the angle, and that's happened nice and early in the round. So something to build on. I think he pointed at the canvas, either at the canvas or at their feet, to suggest that maybe Adebisi trod on his foot, could have done, as you say, might have done, but it was still a clean punch.
There's a little bit more variety, there's a little change in the play here from Adebisi with that lateral movement. He's looking energetic and lively. And the feints and the changes and the angles, one way or another, just causing a little bit of bother and mischief for Irving. And the other beauty of those body feints and changing the angles, actually defensively, it's working for Adebisi too.
Good couple of punches into the body there, went underneath nicely.
And now look how close he is in range, Andy. Look where the front foot is. They're almost touching. He's managed to get himself into distance. Two stabbing left hands to the body, and that created a bit of space for the overhand right, which he didn't quite land there, but you can see him getting closer and closer.
And he is bringing some good heat in this round too, isn't he? And you feel like he is raising the temperature bit by bit, just increasing that punch output.
Interesting to see all the energy that he is employing here with the body angles and the feints and the changes in direction, whether that's using up energy or whether there's an element of control and rhythm about all of that. We'll monitor as we go through.
It is a tiring way to fight, you're right. It's asking a lot of yourself, but he is in very good nick. You can see that he's ripped to an absolute shred.
Just clipped with a little left hand there from Irving. Yeah, you see, he managed to land the right hand. He was shaping to throw it, cocked and then pulled it back, but he landed it again. There's a lovely spearing jab and another one. It was a good start to the round, and it's an excellent finish as well from Adebisi, who's managed to close the range, and he showed something a little different in that round, a different look, and he was getting results.
That right hand, I think it's just a little bit of a stagger as he backpedals. I don't think you could point to anything else there, really.
This is a really impressive start from Adebisi. This stage of careers is it's not so much
Corners, 10 seconds.
What you're doing, the results you're getting, it's how you're doing it. And it's not always easy to shine and start against the opponents who know their way around the ring like Irving does. And he's made it uncomfortable through the first couple of rounds for Irving.
That was a solid combination. Good jab to the chest there, maybe into the stomach, as he just dipped his knees.
There's a little bit of the swag that we mentioned during the ring walk. And really interesting, that front foot pressure from Adebisi. He is so close and in range with the left foot, but he's not necessarily hittable and in range with the upper part of his body and head.
No, he does that well, doesn't he? Because when he steps there, he's got a big wide split stance. But that will make you feel like he is right on you. But then when you fire back, he can just pull it all the way back onto his back foot. And it's a bit of an optical illusion in a way. But again, he's just keeping the pressure on here.
Lovely stabbing shot to the body, and then a left hook to the body as well there. Just starting to go through the repertoire. Irving's trapped in the far corner. Can he keep him there? Can he punish him while he is there, Adebisi?
That was pretty good, that wasn't it, from Irving? He didn't give anything away. He was trying to measure something there, Adebisi, but it just wasn't really there because Irving in that position just will not panic. He will just keep his eyes very much on what his opponent's doing. He's not just going to curl up into a ball, if you like, tuck up and try and get through it and let you throw. He's going to look at you and watch what's coming his way.
Yeah, that was a difficult moment, and I think Irving navigated it very, very well at a time when things were getting a bit more uncomfortable. And that was good again. Stabbing jab to the body, moved off, came back with a left hook. The movement and the feints working for Adebisi tonight.
What Irving's done well as well, though, is he's able to just take that little step back himself at times, and so he gets hit with something in that it reaches, but it doesn't have that much left on it by the time it gets there. Because for someone who never gets stopped, basically, and I'll touch wood on his behalf, so I don't curse him there. It's not like he's up on his toes and covering up and flying around the ring. He's pretty much in front of you, isn't he?
Little deep breath as he went back. To an extent, people like Jensen Irving have to always be within phone call distance. They always have to have an element of being ready, or as ready as they can be should the call come, and the call has only come really in recent days. So I think there's always an element of mental preparedness for people in his shoes. And I think after that first round, Andy, I did mention it at the end of that first round that maybe because of the feints and the movement from Adebisi, that maybe Irving would have to slightly change his plan of attack or his plan of defense and maybe be a little less too enthusiastic in terms of leading off. And he's found the right kind of balance, I think, in the last couple of rounds to keep himself out of trouble.
He has, and it'll be interesting to see what Adebisi does in this fourth and final round, whether he'll look to try and put his foot to the floor. He may as well, it doesn't mean you have to be reckless, but he may as well just fight as high a tempo as he can for what remains of this fight. It's unlikely he's going to get the stoppage. That doesn't matter. It's rounds in the bank, it's good rounds in the bank. I don't think it'll be long. I'm sure it'll be his next fight. They decide to step him up to 6.
Came out on the front foot, farm around Irving. Tried to land a few shots of his own. They've traded body shots. That was a good one, the better one there. Almost like a right uppercut, definitely came from Adebisi.
Just turning southpaw, Irving. First time he's done that, but just gives Adebisi something else to think about. The finishing line is in sight here for Irving.
And he could easily, I mean, I was touching on it, but how much to push, how much to pull for Irving when you're up against a guy who's feinting and moving and causing you problems. But it's been a lot more kind of adventurous in this round, and that's what guys like him have in their locker, isn't it? Such a good operator, Irving. Such a good opponent for any of the prospects.
They're just really good, aren't they, at knowing how to navigate their way through a fight, and sometimes the best way to do it, particularly when you get to the later stages, is just give a bit of a flurry near the start of a round, give your opponent, who might be looking to really try and finish quick and strong, just a bit to think about. Then you switch southpaw and he's got something else to think about. Before you know it, you're halfway through the round, or you're into the final minute like we are now.
And it's also an addition, isn't it? It's a reminder to the matchmakers watching on, a relevancy about the kind of job that he can do. Trapped on the ropes in that corner again. Last time he was there, he managed to circumnavigate his way out as the crowd are getting into it with the final 30 seconds upon us.
He's been very disciplined there, Adebisi, too, hasn't he? He's been aggressive, but he's not gone crazy trying to really force anything. He's just boxed, hasn't he? And that's what you want somebody to do. And maybe the stoppage comes, maybe it doesn't. But it's 4 good rounds for him against a very capable guy in Irving. There wasn't that much coming back, but that was mainly because of what he did rather than due to any shortcomings on Irving's part. But we saw in the prelims, didn't we, that if you don't start nice and sharp against an away corner guy, you can have problems. But he made sure, Adebisi, that he never had any problems there because he was on it right from the start.
He was really good first 3 rounds, and I thought Irving was tremendous in that last round. Showing a little bit of what he's capable of and reminding the matchmakers how useful he can be as an opponent. And he gave plenty in that final round. But really good stuff from Adebisi through the first 3 rounds in particular. I think Alex Leo in the corner there will be absolutely delighted with the 4 rounds. They get the new year up and running, and I suspect they'll be moving on to 6 rounders sooner rather than later.
Still undefeated.
Good stuff there from Adebisi, and Jensen Irving knows enough about this game to probably have a few words of encouragement and balance and relativity, and they're having a good old natter between them. That bond between the boxers, between the fighters. Something unique that perhaps most of the rest of us can never quite understand, but they're having a good conflab. I think they'll both be happy with their night's work, in truth, Andy.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
And one for the scrapbook. Adebisi getting on a Johnny Clark show. I know he's been to see a few of them himself, and now he gets to get on one in front of the cameras. And he's got a bit about him, hasn't he? Let's find out what he made of it. He's speaking to Ali.
Valuable rounds under your belt.
Yeah, man, great experience. First and foremost, I want to thank God for blessing me with this opportunity. You know, bringing me into the fight healthy, fit, and good to go, man. Just want to thank God first and foremost. Family, friends, everyone that came out to support, man. I love you all. You know, we're not stuck. We're not stuck. Come on, man.
Now, Alex and Andy were very impressed with the discipline of your boxing in there throughout those 4 rounds. He's a tricky operator to go up against. There was a lot of words exchanged at the end. What was said?
It's just respect, you know, respect given both ways. You know, shout out to my opponent, Jensen Irving. He took the fight last minute, and if he didn't take the fight, I wouldn't be here tonight. So, you know, I really appreciate him taking the fight, and he came, you know. I've seen him box, he always comes to fight, and he's not a joke, man. You know, it was a good fight, man. Yeah, shout out to him.
First time on a top tier show as well. How did you find the experience?
I loved it, man. You know, this is only my 2nd fight, and you know, look where I am, live on DAZN. Shout out Johnny Clark for putting me on this show. Really appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, man, I hope I can get back on one of these ASAP.
It's great to have you on the show and a great performance. Well done.
Thank you very much. Big up everyone here, man. We not stuck. Make some noise, South London.